FPUC retro, baby. It is still on point. The concerns about FPUC under the third stimulus package hit a snag on Thursday when people didn't hear something but did hear something. The confusions were settled down by Friday when I revealed that the Biden third stimulus package bill draft doesn't say that FPUC retro is out. In fact, it doesn't even say when you're getting paid FPUC. It says I'm leaving it up to Congress. I'm not making a decision what months, when, how long, or anything. Moreover, I'm not making a decision about the number. I recommend $400. I recommend $600 in every other paper I wrote as well. So FPUC retro is still on the table. In this throwback video, I go over how to get FPUC, how to get UI, how to get PUA. What are they? And how do you answer the questions and how to ensure you don't miss a penny during the process. Enjoy this big overnight LATE video on FPUC. A new jobs number is released, but how does it impact FPUC, PUA, and UI unemployment benefits under a second stimulus package? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with the second stimulus package and second stimulus check update for today. Hope you're good and safe. This is our third of 4 videos and EIDL shortly thereafter. But this video is about PUA, FPUC, and UI unemployment benefits as always, our third video of the day. Earlier today, we detailed the new jobs numbers, and the new jobs numbers impact the future of FPUC. We've been explaining what we expected today, and sure enough, it happened just as predicted. The numbers were released, and these were the following. These are numbers regarding how many new jobs were created in the month of June. And the numbers came in incredibly higher than predicted by Wall Street. Wall Street was predicting somewhere in the 3% range. This number came in the 4% range. What is interesting, though, is what followed thereafter, not necessarily the number themselves. This channel had predicted that the future of FPUC, that $600 from the federal government, that is proposed to be extended under a second stimulus check package, that's $600 per week, might be in jeopardy if certain Republicans start to say there's so many great jobs, and Democrats on the other side say, no, there aren't a lot of great jobs. That's exactly what happened today. Shortly after the jobs numbers was released, the president on one side said we're at record great numbers, and the Democrats on the other side, led by Joe Biden, said, no, we aren't. Here is the rub. The numbers are not good, and I'll tell you why. The current unemployment rate now for yet a consecutive month is the worst on record since the Great Depression. Unemployment dropped to 11% today in the latest jobs numbers, but that number is still the worst on record for a consecutive month since the Great Depression. The other number that is really the calling point for FPUC, because it concerns unemployment, is unemployment claims. It's apples and apples. That number was released last Friday, and it's going to be released next month as well. It showed that jobless claims stayed at 1 million for the 4th consecutive week. Again, these are new jobless, new unemployment claims, new people claiming unemployment. 1 million new people for the 14th consecutive week. I mean, it's insane. It's an incredibly high number. So what does this mean about FPUC and where are we going with it? Well, I want to go over some of the nuances of FPUC because I haven't done them in the last couple of days, and I want to ensure that you understand what these are, because a lot of viewers have asked, When is it expiring? When is that expiring? So I want to go over all this with you. So the HEROES Act, which is currently in the Senate, approved by the House, written by Democrats, now before a Republican-led Senate, calls for an extension of the CARES Act. As you know, the CARES Act created FPUC. That's $600 per week from the federal government. That FPUC expires, stops paying in late July, around the time that everyone comes back in the Congress from their umpteenth vacation. The HEROES bill proposes to extend that $600 per week until January 31st, 2021. So basically, if you are on UI, if you're unemployed as an employee, former employee, or on PUA if you're unemployed as an independent contractor, each week that you certify for benefits, you would get that $600 from the federal government all the way to January 2021, January 31st, 2021. The next question is that if you already are on FPUC, your benefits could be extended a little bit further. So here's a little confusion or nuance to the HEROES Act. What I just said is that, actually I have to correct what I just said. What I just said is that the HEROES Act extends the $600 from the FPUC until January 31st, 2021. But that's for, and this is correct what I just said, I made a mistake. That extends it for people who have not yet claimed FPUC. For people who are currently on FPUC, for viewers of this channel who are currently receiving the $600 from the federal government, you would be extended to March 31st, 2021. All right, so let's recap. So if you're sitting here and you have not yet gotten UI, PUA, FPUC, and you suddenly get it, let's say in August, then you would get your benefits extended all the way to January 31st, 2021. But for people who are already getting FPUC by the time of this video under the current CARES Act, you would be extended to March 31st, 2021. What does that say? I mean, ultimately it says that there's a benefit to ensure that you get your claim for FPUC done now and eligible, because if you get it now under the CARES Act, you're extended later than people who are coming in after the fact. Why? Let me recap that again. If you are not on UI or PUA and are not on FPUC, and you get it after July, late July, you're only going to get benefits all the way until January 31st, 2021 if you're impacted by COVID-19 every single week. But if you are watching this channel, you are already on FPUC, already on UI or PUA, which you probably are, then you will be extended under the HEROES Act all the way to March 31st, 2021. What does this mean? Ultimately, it means that if you're impacted by COVID-19 every single week, all the way to March of next year, you could be receiving a lot of money. How much money? Well, it's at least $700 a week, $750 a week, because the base level benefits in most states is about $100-something. California's about $167. So it's $600 on top of that. So it's a lot of money. Let me go over some other things that I haven't gone over in detail with you that impacts the HEROES Act. The HEROES Act also suspends interest and principal payments on student debt with federal loans much later than this channel has been reporting. I have been saying, hey, as you know, the HEROES Act suspended interest and principal payments for student debts until July, and the CARES Act, and that the HEROES Act extends it until early next year. Well, actually, no. If it's a federal loan, for student that your child has as a student loan, then that would be extended to September of next year under the HEROES Act. It's really quite great. The HEROES Act also proposes direct emergency cash payments for struggling students, including international students, undocumented immigrants, and DACA students. The legislation also cancels up to $10,000 of federal and private loans for students. So that's actually a forgiveness. That's the one I've been talking about. Democrats want to propose $30,000 in student loan canceling the debt. So the Democrats actually want this as well. They just want a different number. How about jobs, though? Jobs are not coming back. Employment in clothing stores is up 200,000%, but is down 40% compared to last year. So retail numbers are up, but they're down 40% from last year. Many of these jobs will never be coming back, says Betsy Stevenson, who is a former chief economist at the Labor Department. So she says, hey, yeah, numbers are coming back, but they are way down. They're way down from last year. They're down from pre-pandemic, and they may never come back. The coal mining industry has lost 27% of its jobs, and they have not come back. It's lost 14% of their workers. Other industries are really bad. Hospitality and leisure, which employs a lot of viewers of this channel, those had lost 40% of their entire workforce by April, and they're still not coming back. Bars and restaurants saw a rebound of 9.2 million jobs, but that's not in the current phase. The current phase is new shutdowns. Gavin Newsom issued an order overnight that shut down all in-store dining for restaurants, or in dining, whatever you call them, for restaurants. Shut down amusements, shut down almost everything except retail and gyms. And he's not the only one. It's being spread across nationally. The new jobs numbers for today show that unemployment dropped to 11%, but again, 11% it's the worst number since the Great Depression. Today's non-farm payroll soared to 4.8 million new jobs. That was the jobs numbers, 4.8. Wall Street was predicting 3 million new jobs. It's a good number, but it does not reflect jobless claims. And as Steve Blitz says, the slowdown is going to have an impact. Absolutely. How big it is to tell, it's hard to say. Ultimately, this channel believes that FPUC, that $600 from the federal government, will be extended. There's what is called a financial cliff. This late July has all these things coming up due, and people are just not making their payments. People are not making their bills. People are not making their rent. The employers who would have given you a job back are not giving you a job back. They aren't able to open up, or they're not making enough money to make their obligations. As the Fed said earlier this week, there's a lot of businesses out there that have a lot of debt, and that throwing debt on top of debt doesn't necessarily help. All that creates is just more indebtedness, and ultimately it could hurt everyone. But this channel really does believe that FPUC will be extended. We will see in late July members of Congress come back for that Tahitian vacation with their feet in the jacuzzi and the banjo playing, and they're ready to debate a second stimulus check the moment they walk through their door. But if you have questions or comments about the stimulus check, or you have really guidance for what your senators or representatives should do, contact them now, because their staff is working. Drop in the comments below, and I may feature them in tomorrow's recording. This is one of 4 second stimulus check videos coming up later today. Rent forgiveness, which had a big change overnight in many states. So stay with us as well for that. As always, stay with LA for more.